So I'm absolutely delighted to be here. My wife also, we're very delighted to be here. This is Prabhupada's place. This is Prabhupada's, he's a Calcutta boy, actually. So I feel very, very fortunate to be where Prabhupada grew up, had his younger days before he headed out on the world deliverance mission. I've been given a nice topic, how to practice pure devotional service for city-dwelling Grihasthas. But I wanted to change that title a little bit, how to become perfect in devotional service, not just how to practice it. Practicing is one thing, but to becoming absolutely perfect, that's really, you have that potential to become absolutely perfect. Prabhupada wrote me one letter. He said, now you just become qualified to see Krishna face to face. That's perfection, you see. You actually become so pure that Krishna reveals himself to you see. Premanjana charita bhakti valochanena santaksadaivrhidayeshu valokayanti yang shama shundaram achintyuganasvarupam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shama Sundar, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts, with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love. Prabhupada added, he said, not only do they see him within, but externally they see him also. Krishna becomes visible externally as well, you see. So a householder can actually come to that stage where Krishna is fully revealed within him without it every minute, you see. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Krishna very nicely gives us the hint in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text number 27. Yat kadoshi yadashnasi yajdahosi dadasi yat tapasyashi konteya tat kadushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering unto me. Purport. It is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstance. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together, and Krishna recommends here that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live, therefore he should accept the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious, ritualistic ceremonies. Therefore, Krishna recommends, do it for me, and this is called archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness movement. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra round his beads, he is surely the greatest meditator and the greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Thank you, Prabhupada, for blessing us with such profound wisdom. Well, this is very practical. Also, it means you work for maintenance of the body, you see. So you have to do that for Krishna. That's the key. So how do you do that for Krishna? Go to work every day, get out there in the commute, battle it out in the traffic jams or whatever. How do you do that for Krishna? You see. Well, what are you working? You're working to make money. Prabhupada says like that, they're simply going whoosh, 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 this way, simply for money, you see. So that money has to be spent in a Krishna conscious way, that's the key, you see. Whatever money you're working hard to earn, you have to spend every penny or every paisa or rupee in a way that's pleasing to Krishna, you see. You have to, your home has to be an ashram, Grihastha ashram, not Grihamedi pit, Grihamedi trap, you see. Grihastha ashram, a place of spiritual cultivation. A place where you keep it very clean, you rise early in the morning, you have a Mangal Arti, you either come to the temple if you can do that, or you have a Mangal Arti at home. Grihastha sing Grihastha prayers, offer the Arati. If you can have the Tulsi tree and offer, that's very good also, Tulsi, and then you have japa, that means you need to go to bed early and don't stay up late at night. Go to bed as early as possible and get up as early as possible. My wife and I, we like to get up at 2 a.m. That's our time. At night we can do japa, do some slokas, and then wake the deities. And then rising early is the key. There's an old saying, the early bird catches the worm. We say the early bird catches bhakti. You see. Get up really early. I mean, the vibrations are very peaceful in Calcutta early in the morning, you see. Get up very, very early, you see. And you can just go deep, deep, deep. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And then try to be a spiritual revolutionary at work. I'll give you an example. One of my godbrothers was working in one of these big corporations in the U.S. Actually, he was from India, working in the U.S. And Burroughs Corporation, a big corporation, with a coat and tie and the whole, formal thing. So what he did is he put a Bhagavad Gita there on his desk. Just let it sit there all day. Bhagavad Gita as it is, sitting there very prominently. One boy named Randy Meyer, he came up. He kept looking at that Bhagavad Gita. Finally, he said, "Here, take it and read it." And then Randy Meyer became initiated as Ramiya Das, my godbrother now. So just by putting a Bhagavad Gita on his desk, he made a devotee, you see. So you can do little things. You can put prasadam in the break room, prasadam cookies once a week. It's a big thing in the office. The day the Hare Krishna brings the sweets, or you can have them nice sweets. Just do everything you can at work. Even if you're, just like if you can wear tilak to work, do it. Even in America, I did that. At one point I was working a part-time job doing the telemarketing, signing up people for long-distance service. So, to get hired in America, you hide your neck beads under the tie, and no tilak, to get hired. But I didn't like that, I don't like being undercover. So one day I said, I'm just going to wear tilak to work. I don't care what happens. Tilak. And I was so fired up, I was selling like anything. Doing telesales, selling like anything. Now my boss, you see, he gets a commission on my sales. And he was in ecstasy. My Karmi name is Bridge, kind of like Bridge Bossy, but anyway. He said, "Wow, Mr. Bridge is really cooking it up today." He was going, "Wow." He's watching me over there, one sale, another sale. At the end of the day, he came and he said, "I don't know what that is on your forehead, but now and every day you must wear it." You see? So do everything you can to be a spiritual revolutionary, wherever you are, at work, at home, when you go shopping. I mean, always be seeing how you can preach, It's just always be in that mood, because the more you're in the mood of making a spiritual revolution on this planet, that will revolutionize you within. It works both ways, you see. The more you get Krishna, the more you can give Krishna. And the more you give Krishna, the more you can get Krishna. You see. It works, they feed into each other, you see. The more you're in the mood of giving Krishna, the more Krishna becomes manifest within your own heart. And the more he's manifest in your own heart by a very nice morning program, the more you're empowered to give them. And they feed into each other. It becomes amazing. You increase on this side, and you become better on this side. You become on this side, increases this side. It just spirals into pure devotional service, actually. You see. So it's just amazing what one can do. Look at Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you see. What is that song? One day while engaged in devotional practices, I saw my home was transformed into Goloka Vrindavan. Is that just some flowery words? No, he actually experienced Goloka Vrindavan right there in his house by pure devotional service, you see. So you should take very seriously the awakening of pure devotional service, you see. Chant 16 rounds begging Krishna for his blessing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And no illicit sex. Some devotees would try to redefine that nowadays. Well, that means no sex outside of marriage, but that's not what Prabhupada said. No illicit sex means only for procreation, not for recreation, you see. And that Prabhupada said once in a month, after the husband and wife have both chanted 50 rounds of japa, if they want to have a child, 4 or 5 days after the menstrual cycle, when she's most likely to get pregnant. Other than that, brahmachari, Grihastha brahmachari. I recommend sleep in different beds or sleep in different rooms, not in the same bed. You're asking for trouble if you sleep in the same bed. You're asking for big trouble. Separate beds, separate rooms is ideal, actually. Separate rooms is the best. So in this way you can have a very pure marriage relationship with no illicit sex. And in such a marriage, it's amazing. You can enter, instead of having your relationship based on the body, you can have it based on Krishna. And the husband and wife are a very ideal combination to help one advance in Krishna consciousness. It's a very ideal situation if they're both Krishna conscious. So one should be very, very enthusiastic as a Grihastha, to make your household a very, very Krishna conscious atmosphere, that anybody you invite people over for a little program in your home, some kirtan, prasadam, you can make devotees, you see. We want to really, really spark off a global spiritual revolution. This is what Prabhupada wants us to do. He really got on the case of us Americans. He said, as America is the leading nation in the world, so you American boys should be leaders of the whole world. Can you imagine? He told us to be leaders of the whole world. Because we're from America, we have to lead the whole world. He told us to become the world leaders. So we have a ways to go. They're not listening to us yet. All these leaders, so-called leaders of the world, they're not really leaders. The only true leaders are Krishna conscious leaders, you see. These are all cheaters and rascals, the so-called leaders of the world today. They're cheaters and rascals. So we have to preach in such a way that in the future people, when they go to vote for a prime minister or whatever, is this person Krishna conscious, you see. This time they're getting ready to, it's like they have all the elections going on now. They're getting ready to elections in the U.S. We have to educate the people that unless the person is Krishna conscious, they're not qualified to lead. So as householders, we have to be such ideal examples, you see. That people be inspired to take guidance from us, instructions from us. That's the kind of mentality we have, and mood and sort of feelings and consciousness we have to learn to manifest within our hearts, and with every word we speak, with every thought we have going through our brains, everything that we do, we have to manifest pure bhakti as much as possible. It's our duty to revolutionize the whole planet, as Prabhupada taught us that prayer, Bhagirna Sringa Hridayena Singha. You know how Prabhupada translates those 4 words? May Lord Nrsingadev dwell within my heart, killing all my bad propensities, so that my mind becomes completely clean and I can bring peace to the entire world. Did you know you're paying to be a spiritual revolutionary when you chant the Nrsinga prayer? You are begging Krishna to empower you to make the world Krishna conscious. When you chant the Nrsinga prayer, the meaning of Behir Nrsinga, Nrsinga within, Nrsinga without. That means the whole world Krishna conscious, Behir Nrsinga. So you have to go deep in understanding our actual philosophy. Don't just take it as some little touch of piety on your material life. No. You have to kick out material life, become pure devotees of Krishna right now, not next week, not next year, not tomorrow. Your mood should now let me embrace pure bhakti as my only business right here, right now, at this instant. You see. That's how you have to train yourself. Will it happen? Probably not. But if you're thinking like that, it'll speed it up. It is possible to achieve it in a minute. You know that Maharaj Khatvanga, he got it within a minute. He's a very powerful Kshatriya. You may have read in the Bhagavatam, purport. Very powerful Kshatriya, earthly king. He was so powerful that when the demigods were being overwhelmed by the demons in the heavenly planets, they couldn't do it. They asked Maharaj Khatvanga to come and fight on their behalf. Can you imagine how he's so powerful the demigods took help from him? That's how powerful was Maharaj Khatvanga. And he defeated the demons. The demigods were so pleased. Whatever benediction you would like, we will give you within our powers, whatever. He said, just tell me when I'm going to die. He said, oh, your death is just now coming. He said, thank you very much. Immediately be surrendered to Krishna to perfection. So we should be in that mood that now, at this very minute, let me fully embrace pure devotional service as my only business. From now on, for all of eternity. And there's a very special mantra for that. You know that mantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So you should chant in that mood of begging for pure devotional service. Not like one mother who said, my kid's going for an exam today, so I'll chant some extra rounds so he'll do better on his exam. Don't use the holy name for some material purpose like that. I want my kid to pass the exam, so I'm chanting some extra rounds today. Don't do that. It's namaparad. You chant Hare Krishna for pure devotion service. Otherwise, you're only cheating yourself. You've come this far. You've gone through 8,400,000 species. Now you have a human body. You've come under the shelter, under the teachings of one of the greatest acharyas in the history of the universe. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Now you want to use the holy name for your kids to do better on his test? Don't be a fool. Okay. Now you have the opportunity to actually fully connect with Radha and Krishna in their original pastimes in the spiritual world that are going on right now. You see? You have the facility, you see. You have the full facility to become a pure devotee right now. So take it seriously. And your household life will be a glorious household life like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you see. You can produce great, if you actually seriously follow this process, you can produce in your household great acharyas like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. You can actually give birth to great acharyas if you have that mood of begging Krishna for pure bhakti. Can you imagine having a child like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? You can do it. We need to create a whole army of acharyas. If we're going to lead this world out of chaos, as Prabhupada told us to do, our householders should be producing pure devotees. You see? Household life. Of course, if a householder just want to preach and not have children, that can also be done. It's not that you have to have children. It's like my wife and I, we've been brahmacharis our whole, 20, 30 years, I forget how many years. We've been brahmachari the whole time. Whole marriage, brahmachari marriage. If we have any kids, yep, I got 300. Instead of having sex, we focus on preaching and worshipping beautiful deities of Radha and Krishna. And instead of having, 2 or 3 children, we have 300 children. My disciples all over the world, you see. So, that option is also there. You don't have to have children. Because you're married doesn't mean you have to have sex and have kids. It's an option. It's your right to do that. If you're inspired to then do that. But if you feel like just being a preachers, you can do that too. Both is okay. Both are good. According to your inspiration. Household life, it doesn't mean you have to have sex. Now here's another issue. What if you're in a situation, your wife wants illicit sex, and you know it's wrong, or your husband wants to have illicit sex and you know it's wrong, what you should do? Shouldn't give in. Should be strong, you see. Should be strong, because actually if you facilitate someone's sinful life, you're engaged in sin and you're keeping them further entangled in sin. If you set the good example and at the same time be very merciful, you have to be marriage means you have to be have to have a very sweet, kind, compassionate, loving relationship. You have to be, have to be very, what is the word? Cooperative. You have to cooperate very nicely with each other, you see. You have to, the Prabhupada says the wife, she is addressed as Devi or goddess. You have to treat her as a goddess. Be very respectful. And the wife's supposed to call the husband Prabhu, master. So it's a very loving relationship. A goddess and a master, you see. So one should, because of the Kali Yuga, we have this tendency to fight, you see. So we have to learn how to not fight and be very cooperative. There's one example in this connection. My godbrother Tejas Prabhu, he was here in India in the early days when it was just a small handful of devotees from the West. No big projects, it was very early pioneering days. And it was just a few Western disciples. So Prabhupada, a very intimate connection with Prabhupada at that time. A little family, it was like a little family. So Tejas' wife, they used to fight and she would go away. She would just take off and go somewhere. And Prabhupada would bring her back, and he was like the marriage counselor. Trying to patch up their marriage problems. So finally he asked Tejas, what's the difficulty? Why does she keep running away? What's the problem? He said, Prabhupada, she doesn't do what I say. You know what Prabhupada said? Prabhupada said, if she doesn't do what you say, then you should do what she says. And this way you live peacefully. But that doesn't mean that if she wants illicit sex, obviously. I mean, not like that. But it's a very cooperative relationship, you see. Even though according to Vedic culture, women are subordinate, that doesn't mean that she's a slave. You see, you're partners, working together in a cooperative way to help each other develop pure love of God, to serve the order of the spiritual masters, to serve the Lord Chaitanya's order. In this way, take it very seriously to develop a very sweet, loving relationship with your spouse. It's very important. We have to show that it's like there's so many marriage counselors in the material world, so many divorces, it's a big issue. Marriages are, fail regularly. They're failing all the time. If we can show in our movement marriages, ideal marriages, with a husband and wife, they're both very happy, the children are very happy, and it's a very progressive, sweet atmosphere. Then that people join our movement just so they can have better household life, you see. They'll be attracted just on that basis. We have to show ideal household life. So we have another hour. If there's any questions, I can be happy to try to answer them. And if I can't quite hear it, somebody can repeat it for me. Yes, what is your question?
I want to ask you, what is the
From meaning of preaching?
Real meaning of preaching. You can tell us in the context of this as a coaching institute. Like we are working in a coaching institute. So here we.
Well, in your work, you're not the job you have. Unless you're the owner of the company, then you can really preach. But if you're just an employee, you can't really preach much at your job. You have to preach outside of your job. I mean, I wore T-lock to MCI Corporation, and I put cookies in the break room, and that was all I did. So the idea is you go in there, you make some money, and you use that money in a way that's Krishna conscious. That's the main thing. Your preaching is outside of the job. You can do a little bit, but you can't really do very much in your job.
Job is separate and job is just separate and preaching is separate.
Actually, for them, they are serving here. This is ISKCON Institute.
Oh, they work full time here in this.
Yeah, this is ISKCON Institute, so they can.
Now you have full time preaching now. Now those who are, you preach as much as you can wherever you are, but you have to also be intelligent and understand. You have to keep your job also. Or if you have a business, you have to, you have to also realize that you're, just like Grihastha, my disciple here has a radio station, European hit radio. He just played Krishna conscious movement. His music, his station may fold. You see, you have to do what's practical for making. Huh? Oh yeah.
And he came and talked to Prabhupada, was very happy hearing that he had given a job. And when he came and told Prabhupada was not at all happy about Prabhupada was not at all happy about it, and he went back and got the job because his job was supporting the.
Yeah, this was in the early days of 26 Second Avenue. There was hardly any income at all, but Satarupa he had a job. Nobody else had a job. And he was giving his check to the temple, and he wanted to give Prabhupada the good news that he's quit his job so he could be at the temple all day long. And Prabhupada told him to go back and do his job, and he did. Take that as a service. He said, this earning money is a very important thing. It's like we're building Mayapur, so much, millions of dollars. You see, that's very important. Devotees can work jobs and earn money and support the movement. Yeah. Very good point. But we don't use the money for sense gratification. That's right. Spend our money in a very Krishna conscious way. Prabhupada said if a devotee wants to be a Krishna conscious businessman, he should aspire to be the wealthiest businessman in the whole world. So, that's also the Grihastha. Someone may be inspired to start a business and then go into full steam ahead and become the most successful, you see.
Meanwhile, before they become successful, meanwhile they should not neglect Krishna.
Yeah, but you have to have a good sadhana. Anything else? Okay, and then you're next. You can write it on a piece of paper also. Okay. It's been 2 years and I struggle in Krishna consciousness. Is unable to stick to the 16 rounds chanting. It seems Maya keeps trapping me. I do job as well as business. It's an easy way to do 16 rounds with no problem at all. You'll get them done every day, guaranteed. You don't take Vishalam till your rounds are done every day. Is this you? Oh, okay. It's very simple. You fast every day until your rounds are done. Very simple. Until your rounds are done, no prasadam. It's a very simple program. You'll become very regulated very quick. It's very simple. No. If you had not done by breakfast time, no breakfast. Not done by lunch, no lunch. Not by the evening, you have to come home. You're working a job full time? So now you need, what time you go to bed at night? Why? So late? What time you get home from work?
10:30.
10:30 you get home? What time do you go to work in the morning?
No, he goes to work at 10:30.
You go to work at 10:30 in the morning?
He returns at 10:30.
Yes, around 10:30.
In the night.
In the night he gets up at 10:30. What time is?
What time do you leave for work in the morning?
Around 12 o'clock.
12 noon? And you can't get your rounds done? Oh my God, it's a piece of cake.
That's what I said. I also do part-time business in the morning time.
You have a business. And you're doing business and a job both. That means you don't start your business till your rounds are done. The easiest thing is you don't take prasadam till your rounds are done, and they'll always get done.
My question.
Your belly will force you.
My question will be to everybody. You want success in your life, human life? Do you all want success in human life? What kind of success? What kind of success you want? Temporary or permanent? Permanent. Then don't misuse your human life. Take up Krishna consciousness. If you don't have Krishna consciousness, your life is a failure. No matter how much material opulence and hard work you have done it, your life is a failure. So keep this in mind. What is your goal?
All the money you made will not buy back your soul. Even if you become a multi-billionaire and you don't chant 16 rounds, it's a waste.
Do you understand this?
I would say if you can't chant 16 rounds, Jesus, forget your business, don't even do it.
If you want success, materially and spiritually, what should be the first? Yes, so you're going to chant 16 rounds. Are you determined to make 16 rounds every day?
Yes.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
How many have you done today so far?
10.
You got 6 more to do.
So do it every day, 16 rounds. Everybody should bless him that he can do 16 rounds every day.
This lady back here had a question.
How to overcome pain and suffering? Can I be heard?
How to overcome pain and suffering?
How to overcome pain and suffering and be truly a Krishna revolutionary.
Truly Krishna what?
Revolutionary.
Revolutionary.
Be truly revolutionary. It's very simple. You just have to stop misidentifying with your body and your mind. Suffering is due to false identification with the body and the mind. You have to realize you're an eternal spiritual being. You're actually one of Krishna's associates from the spiritual world who made the stupid mistake of trying to enjoy separately. Because of that stupid mistake, you're going through so much pain and suffering. But if you stop misidentifying yourself with your material body and your material mind and just understand actually that I'm the eternal servant of Krishna, I just have to get back into that, into being who I really am. Know who you are and be who you are. It's only due to false misidentification. It's only due to misidentification that you're suffering at all. You have to kick out all this misidentification. That's why one should chant 16 rounds, take initiation from the bona fide spiritual master. The bona fide spiritual master will empower you to awaken your spiritual identity, which is full of bliss and knowledge. So that's the key. You have to chant. Are you initiated?
I'm not.
No.
You have to chant 16 rounds, follow the principles, get initiated, and the spiritual master will empower you then to revive your eternal relationship with Krishna. You'll actually realize this is not me, this body is not me. I'm an eternal spiritual being, one of the associates of the Lord in his transcendental pastimes in the spiritual world. Now I just have to be who I really am, the pure devotee of Krishna. That will kick out all suffering immediately. Huh? Yeah.
Because this, as long as you have this material body, there will be change in surface. That's the nature of material body. So Krishna consciousness is training you that you don't get this another material body.
And you don't misidentify with your present material body.
Yes.
Our program is tune in, turn on, and bliss out. Tune in, turn on, and bliss out. Tune into your spiritual identity. Turn on your loving relation with Krishna and bliss out. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Jai. You can do it. You can become the pure devotee of Krishna in total ecstasy at every minute, tasting ever-increasing bliss every day. You can do it. You just have to tune in to this process and follow it strictly, and you will have that amazing awakening of transformation within your heart. You become the most blissful people in the whole world. Guaranteed. In the back there, yes?
So my question might sound stupid. I just would like to know if any example can be given. If any example can be given of somebody who has become very blissful by chanting, by practicing pure devotional service, how it feels to be like that.
My wife is a good example. She's pretty ecstatic, I can tell you right now.
His question was, oh, you are there, okay. So he asked a question who became, there were Prabhupada's disciples who were hippies. They were taking drugs, miserable, they did not want to even relate with the world. When they became devotees, they became very, very blissful. They became from hippies to happies.
It's a fact, I mean, it's a fact, Prabhupada, anyone who's taken Prabhupada's instructions very seriously is becoming totally ecstatic. Their life is a celebration of transcendental bliss 24 hours a day. And you can also have it too if you follow these teachings of Prabhupada as your life and soul. From a hippie to a happy. Actually, people ask me, when people, when we go to the grocery store in the U.S., people say, "How are you?" I say, "I'm totally ecstatic. I'm in complete bliss, and I can teach you how to do the same thing if you're interested to learn." Okay, I've heard that Srila Prabhupada said that he has given 50% Krishna consciousness of its highest culmination. The rest 50% is Daivi Varnashram system to be introduced gradually or globally. So how city-based householders can do this? I already told you what to do. In the last hour I've been telling you what to do. You have to chant 16 rounds, you have to rise early in the morning, you have to follow the principles strictly. You have to revolutionize your own heart, revolutionize your own house, and then revolutionize the whole world. That's all there is to it. You told sleep, deep, what is it? Probably you told deep
Sleep.
from band, another room. Oh, sleep in another room. Okay. We are being in a joint family, how to handle family members and relatives that are not understanding Krishna consciousness. They don't know about anything spiritual. You just have to do it. You don't. That's all. You don't have to. You don't need their permission to follow the Krishna conscious process. You don't need their permission. You should be a revolutionary even with your own family. Not that I don't want to do anything that they would think is weird. Prabhupada, this reminds me that one time the reporter said, Swamiji, your disciples seem very strange. Prabhupada said, yes, they must be seen strange because they are spiritual. You are all material. Therefore, for a material person, we are surely strange people. You see? They may think you're weird, you're strange. We have no problem with them. Actually, in Austin, we have a saying, keep Austin weird. So it's cool to be weird. Don't feel bad if you're doing something that they think is weird. That's because they're completely in ignorance and illusion. A revolutionary, those who actually make changes in the world are those who step out and do things that are considered weird by the people who are in ignorance. If you want to make an actual difference in the world, you have to be considered weird sometimes. That's all I can say. If you want to make a difference, you have to be considered weird or strange sometimes. Huh?
It may not be practical when they're living with the whole family. They live in a separate room.
In a separate bed then. I said separate bed. Ideally separate rooms, but at least a separate bed. Yeah. Okay, anything else? Got 40 more minutes. How to keep the fire of Krishna consciousness always alive? Well, you just have to desire to have it always alive. Very simple thing. And Krishna reciprocates with your desire. Do you desire to have the awakening of pure love of God within your heart? If you do, and you're always begging Krishna for it, then you will have it. If you're thinking, well, sometimes if you're not always wanting to be Krishna conscious, thinking, well, it's okay on once a week, but not too much.
Do you want success in your life?
Yeah, you have to desire. If you have desire it, do you desire? Who wrote the question? Do you desire to have the fire of Krishna consciousness always alive in your heart or not? Do you or not? You do. All right, then maintain that desire. That desire is the fire. You understand? The desire to have Krishna consciousness is the fire of Krishna consciousness. So just keep always desiring Him. I'm regularly begging Krishna, please Krishna, bless me, I can be the pure devotee. Please bless me. I can be absolutely pure devotee, you see. So, in the chanting Hare Krishna in that same mood. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. The desire is itself the fire, so just keep always desiring it. Keep that desire always going. You have to. It's not. If you also understand why you need to desire that, that's the other side. If you understand why, not just blindly. I need to desire pure devotional service because otherwise I'm just going to rot here in the cycle of birth and death for millions and billions of lifetimes. You have to understand the need to desire Krishna consciousness. Because otherwise I'm just going to remain in a suffering condition for millions of lifetimes. I'll go back down to the animal kingdom. So many things will be there if I don't desire Krishna consciousness. You have to understand the absolute necessity of desiring Krishna consciousness. That's very important as well. That will encourage you because the mind is flippant. The mind will go on and off, you see. Yes, Krishna, no Krishna. Yes, Krishna, no Krishna. The mind is flippant. But if you're intelligent, you understand, I need to have this pure devotional service because otherwise I'm lost. I must have pure devotional service. It's the only thing that can really make me happy. The only way I can really do good for others. If you have these understandings, and you keep those understandings, you keep strengthening them by your prayers, by your studies, by the quality of your chanting, you see, then that little rascal mind will finally say, okay, I give up. Got me cornered, I surrender. You see, the mind is the problem. The mind says yes to Krishna, no, yes, no, yes, no. The mind keeps going back and forth, you see.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I wanted to add something. In anything, if you want success, you have to go for it, not just desire. Desire is very good. If you want to become a lawyer or you want to become a doctor, your desire is very good. But if you don't go and work hard day and night, you're not going to become a doctor or a lawyer or anything. So you have to work towards it. Not just I'm going to say.
Not just a pipe dream.
Yeah, not a pipe dream is like that. You have to work, make it successful, make it successful. Even if there is a failure, make it successful. Then you can come to that point. Just like who made these light bulbs? He had been a failure for a long time, but he did not give it up. Edison or whatever his name was. So he did not stop it. Oh, I'm a failure, I cannot do it, but I desire. And he was sitting. No, he worked hard, day and night.
Very determined.
Very determined. That's what Krishna says. Make your Krishna consciousness by deliberation. You must do that. If you really desire for Krishna consciousness, you have to work towards it. Not just like I desire, but I'm a failure. It's okay, failure is the pillar of success. Right?
It's like the little sparrow. She's our, the sparrow? She's our Siksha Guru, yes. The mean, nasty ocean stole the little sparrow's eggs. Ha ha ha. That sparrow said, give me the eggs back. The ocean refused. So that sparrow is determined, I will dry up that ocean. She was getting a few drops at a time with a little tiny beak, running down, grabbing the water, putting it in the land, back and forth. Everybody was laughing. Look at that stupid little bird. She's going to run herself to death. Ha 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 ha. But there was somebody who wasn't laughing, and his name was Garuda. They're harassing my little sister. He came swooping in on Garuda Airlines. And he told that ocean, you better give those eggs back right now, you rascal, or I'll dry you up. So he had to be determined as a little sparrow. And she was working very hard, you see. She wasn't just sitting there praying. She actually was working, running back and forth, 1 drop, 2 drops, 3 drops. You have to be like a little sparrow, you see. Take her as your Siksha Guru very seriously. And you have to work you have to be very, very determined and very enthusiastic, and at the same time very patient, to have that awakening of pure love of God within the heart, you see. You have to endeavor to become the pure devotee of Krishna by doing everything, by being very active. Prabhupada said, daring and active, you see. Be very active, always doing things for Krishna, not just sitting around and dreaming. Like a little potter boy who was dreaming of becoming a millionaire. You know that story? Everyone knows this potter boy story. Yeah. Yeah, he made a pot and he was thinking, yes. Instead of working, he was just laying there dreaming, thinking, yes, I will take this pot to the market and I'll sell it and make a profit, and I'll make another pot, and this way I'll make a whole pot factory, and my wife gets me in trouble, I'll just give her a big kick. And with that kick he broke the pot and his whole thing was finished, you see. He was just dreaming. The point is you have to actually do something, you see. Not just lay around and dream of being the pure devotee of Krishna. You have to do something. Let me actually engage very wonderfully in serving Prabhupada's mission, serving the local temple, doing wonderful service for the Vaishnavas, taking initiation, doing wonderful service for my spiritual master. Do something practical. Engage in practical activities like the little sparrow running back and forth. Be very active. And by that activity, you burn away so many other material desires which are distracting you from the one desire you should only have, and that's pure devotional service. See, the problem is we have mixed desires. We have so many desires, but it's mixed, not pure. We have all these material desires, you see. You have to endeavor and you have to work very hard to burn away all these material desires by doing so many things. How I can serve the Srila Prabhupada's mission, how I can have a nice relationship with the Vaishnavas, how I can serve the Vaishnavas with love. You see, actually be practically engaged, practical devotional service. Anything else? Oh, we have more? Okay. All right. Okay. I have a devotee friend who is in Krishna consciousness since the last 7 to 8 years, but he has not been able to give up one bad habit. He chants 16 rounds, but he indulges in accessing improper websites. That means porno. He breaks a regulated principle every time. That means he's probably masturbating. And how to help him? Recently he got married also. Yeah, I counsel people like this sometimes with my e-course. They reveal to me what's going on and get some heavy stuff out there. Women also sometimes even have such problems. The real thing is you have to understand that what you're trying to get out of that stimulating your sexual feelings is actually the most deadly poison. That desire, you're looking for ecstasy, but you're looking for it in the wrong place. You see, cheap thrills they call it. You're cheating yourself by these cheap thrills. You have to understand the nectar of pure devotional service is 1,000 and million times better than any kind of sexual pleasure you could ever have, even in the heavenly planets. So you have to understand that you're looking for that rush, that ecstasy of pleasure. It's there in Krishna Bhakti. Unlimited bliss is available for you right now, but you have to stop going in these so-called happiness things, these sexual things. You have to understand it's bitter poison. It appears to be very pleasurable sexual stimulation, but it's actually the most hellish poison. It's destroying your ability to find real pleasure and happiness. So you have to preach to them very heavy. Be very heavy, preach very heavy to them about it, like that. Yeah. Huh? Yeah, no, devotees should. If he wants to go on the internet, he should go to Krishna.com or joincourse.com, my e-course. If you want to do on the internet, just get on my course, joincourse.com, and you'll get a video every day and some. Yeah, if you can't control yourself, then you should throw your computer away or sell it, get rid of it. If you can't control yourself, if your computer obliges you to look at porno, then you should not even have a computer at all. Get rid of it. Finished. If you can't control yourself, get rid of it. Just get it out of your house and don't have any more, no computer, no smartphone, no nothing. Huh? Yeah, no, if you can't stop looking at porn, you should get rid of your phone, get rid of your computer. How to avoid misunderstandings and conflicts in the association of devotees. This is a very big problem we have. because of our impurities, because we have these false egos, we sometimes get agitated when we shouldn't be agitated. We have to learn how to understand what Krishna means when he says, what is it? One who is my devotee is not my devotee. That's the Sanskrit. What's the Sanskrit? One is the devotee of my devotee. Ye me bhakta jana partha, na me bhakta state janaha, mad bhaktanam chi ye bhakta, te me bhakta tamamata. We have to understand what that actually means, and we have to learn how to live in terms of that verse. Krishna says, the one who is my devotee, na me bhaktas, he is not my devotee, but the devotee of my devotees, he is my real devotee. So are you devoted to your devotees or not? Are you devoted to your spouse? Are you devoted to your kids? Devoted to your godbrothers, devoted to the ISKCON devotees. You have to manifest devotion in your thoughts and your feelings, in your words and your actions, in all times, places, and circumstances, with all the devotees. Starting right there at home with your wife and your husband. You have to manifest devotion in everything you do. So we should be a little introspective. Am I thinking devotionally? Am I acting devotionally? Am I speaking devotionally right now? Or am I kind of like a brute, like a barking dog, Am I acting like a brute, like a barking dog, or am I acting like a Vaishnava in this situation? One should be very introspective and realize sometimes I don't act like a Vaishnava, and I have to curb down this tendency to act like a non-Vaishnava and always feel and act and speak as a Vaishnava in all situations. If you do this, then I guarantee you, if you work really hard to master having perfect, loving relationships with the devotees, Krishna will give you tons and tons and tons of mercy. Guaranteed. It is hard to accept my mistakes, and false ego becomes an obstacle in developing love and relationships among us. Yes. That's the problem. We don't like to be told we're wrong. What do you mean? Kind of a, reaction. What do you mean? What do you mean I did something wrong? Don't you know how great I am? You see, we have that false ego, you see. What do you mean? We have to realize I'm flawed. You see, I'm an imperfect soul. Just consider Prabhupada's prayer to Bhaktisiddhanta. Save me a fallen, your divine grace. Now, if Prabhupada could pray that way, what is our position? Save me a fallen. I'm a fallen soul. Now, of course, Prabhupada is not really a fallen soul, but he's teaching us what we should think about ourselves. You should always feel you're a fallen soul. If somebody points out a fault, you should be grateful. Oh, someone's helping me to get out of my fallen condition. You see? Doesn't matter whether you're a sannyasi or a GBC or anything. You see, those who, or you're even a guru, you see. Shouldn't think, well, I'm a guru, so I must be a pure devotee. And every word, every thought, everyone, no matter what your position, I don't care if you're a big leader in the movement, if you start thinking that I'm infallible and everything I do is perfect, you're on the verge of falling down. You see? We have to always feel ourselves very fallen, and if somebody points out a discrepancy, we should be very grateful, not angry, you see. Some practical suggestions. Lower than the straw in the street, ready to offer all respect to others without expecting even the slightest tinge of respect for oneself. In such a state of mind, one can go unlimitedly into the holy names with ever-increasing ecstasy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So don't cheat yourself by thinking you're a big advanced devotee. Well, I'm a Brahmin now. I'm second initiated, and who are these bhaktas? They don't know anything. I'm a second initiated Brahmin. Now be careful, y'all. This way in Texas. Be very careful, you see. Maya is very tricky. I've been in this movement for almost 50 years, and I've seen big leaders come and go. Big sannyasis, gurus, GBCs. I don't care who you are, I don't care what your position is. If you're not humble, you're on the verge of falling down and leaving the movement and going back into material life and suffering like hell, birth after birth after birth. So be very careful, be very humble. Want to add something? Okay, another question? What is the secret for expanding a Krishna conscious project or community? Pure devotional service. No secret. The more you're pure, the more you're empowered. I'll give you an example. Prabhupada states in his purport, this is really powerful. This is amazing. This is absolutely mind-blowingly powerful statement from Prabhupada. He says, if one can chant the holy name of the Lord without any offense, get ready for this. I mean, this is really powerful from Prabhupada. If one can chant the holy name of the Lord without any offense, he becomes Jagat Guru. And under his influence, the whole world will chant Hare Krishna. Now, is that something to aspire for? What do you think? You're damn right. We should all aspire to become pure chanters, you see. Because even if one of us can pull it off, that one devotee can revolutionize this entire planet. Even if one of us, I'm still working on it myself. If even one of us can become an absolute pure chanter, Prabhupada said, Prabhupada doesn't speak loud, flowery words. Prabhupada is speaking scientific words from a pure devotee. If even one, he says, I'll repeat it again, if one can chant the holy name of the Lord without offense, he becomes Jagat Guru, and under his influence the whole world chants Hare Krishna. Actually, Prabhupada told me personally that I could aspire to become Jagat Guru. Prabhupada personally told me. So one can aspire to be a pure chanter who can inspire the whole world. That's a bona fide desire. I want to become so perfect in my Krishna consciousness that I can inspire the whole world to become Krishna conscious. That's a bona fide desire that one can have. So the key is pure chanting. You see, become absolutely pure in your chanting, and that means avoiding all the offenses. It means having first-class relationships with devotees. That means becoming a completely sold-out disciple of the bona fide spiritual master. If you have this purity, then we can expand this movement, the whole world, make the whole world Krishna conscious. Really. Purity is the force. It's our common saying. We have the real key is purity. You see. Otherwise, what is your big expansion going to do? You see. You think, well, let's expand the movement. So we'll say illicit sex with your wife is okay as long as you don't do it every day. We'll get more members that way. You're just destroying the movement is all you're doing, you see. Our ideas for expansion should all be based on purely following Srila Prabhupada's instructions, not watering them down, purely following Srila Prabhupada's instructions. That's how we can actually lead this entire world out of chaos. By strictly following Prabhupada's instructions without deviation. Whatever Prabhupada has told us, we must follow that as our life and soul. Whether we may think we have another idea, but who are we? We are imperfect souls. We are conditioned souls. We are subject to so many defects. Prabhupada is not a conditioned soul. He's a pure devotee and Krishna is sent here to liberate the whole world. So if we take Prabhupada's orders very seriously and strict tightly to what Prabhupada's instructions are, then any project you do will be a tremendous success, if not immediately, in due course of time. Yes? Gets what?
Troubles. Getting troubles. One is, even in spite of being Krishna consciousness, one gets trouble.
Trouble?
Trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's special mercy from Krishna. You know, Kunti Devi was praying for more trouble. You know that prayer? Kunti is saying, "My dear Lord," the whole story was that she was there in the forest with the Pandavas. It was hard. Can you imagine being from a royal family, living in the palace, and now to be out in the forest where there's man-eating rakshasas, living in the forest? Let me finish. Huh? Well, you have to learn how to become like Kunti Devi. You have to learn. You can even pray to her directly. "My dear Kunti Devi, please bless me. I can have your mood." Please, you can pray to her directly. She's a great pure devotee. You can beg for her mercy. "Please bless me to see all these troubles as the greatest blessing, the greatest benediction from Krishna." You see. There's an example in this connection. One of my godbrothers went to this Kumbh Mela, and he got separated from the party, and he went through absolute hell. He didn't know. He was walking around with only a gumshoe, and it was freezing cold, and he only had a gumshoe, and there was a car. They came from the devotee camp and went over there, but he got separated. The crowds pushed him away, and he was lost. No one spoke English. He didn't know how to get back to the camp. He was going through hell for like maybe 10 hours or something, wandering around, and even the children were throwing rocks at him, thinking he was a madman. It was a horrible thing he went through. But then the whole thing was over. He felt it was the greatest blessing because he got to experience Kumbh Mela like the normal people who just, in the crowd. So he took it as a great blessing. So you have to learn to see that whatever is coming is the special mercy of Krishna. Do you realize that Krishna is the supreme controller? Everything is happening under his direction. Not a blade of grass can move without his sanction. So whatever troubles you're having, they're all Krishna's special blessing to help you come out of this false spirit of enjoyment of the material world and to come to pure devotional service as soon as possible. You're being blessed unlimitedly at every minute. You have to learn how to see that, because you are. Think, why is God doing this to me? He's blessing you. Yes.
Your thinking is wrong. When someone comes to Krishna consciousness, trouble doesn't come. Trouble has been coming, and you have come with the trouble from your past birth. Krishna consciousness is for you to get out of that trouble that you have already brought with you. It's not that Krishna is giving. When one becomes Krishna conscious, you get more trouble. It's minimized. It comes in a minimized way. And devotee says that this is due to my past karma, I'm getting it, and this way I'm going to
burning off my past karma. You're getting minimization of your past.
It is not that by becoming Krishna conscious you are getting more.
No, I'm not talking that.
No, but the question that you asked.
I have asked that in spite of saying Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
If I get low of trouble. So
no, the troubles you have come with it. You have come with the trouble.
I will that way.
Yes.
That's the situation. How to overcome this situation.
So this will gradually, it's not just this lifetime you're going to get. Krishna will keep you in this way, minimizing it and letting you know this life is not for your enjoyment. You get out of here. To train you up. Otherwise, if there is too much enjoyment, like in a heavenly planet, there is too much enjoyment and they don't think that it's the place that we want to give. Everybody wants to go to heavenly planet, you too. And want to make this world as a heavenly planet, but you can't.
That realization is very tough to get in here.
Yes.
So we are also meditating.
No, that's why everybody is working very hard to make this material life comfortable. Yes, but you have to understand this is temporary world. And you have already come. So to overcome this, you have to take up Krishna consciousness very seriously, so that you don't take another body and you won't get this trouble. That's where we have to go.
We have a few questions coming in from the internet as well. We have some people tuned in from around the world. We have 10 more minutes, baby. Yeah, but I'm going to finish these questions really quick. So no more new questions. We have enough to finish up our 10 minutes. Whatever questions are here, we'll take them quickly. Okay. Aniruddha is asking, wait a minute right here. He's asking how to give up the association of non-devotees at school. I have to associate with them. Well, you have to be Krishna conscious and not try to be one of them. Whatever you can do to share Krishna consciousness, you do it. And just, Prahlad Maharaj was also in a school with non-devotees, but he made all the non-devotees into devotees. That's what he did. Okay. How far do we need to tolerate and show respect if it is, for example, as a problematic person who constantly behaves abusively towards the other devotees? There's two things we have to also preach. If somebody is acting in offensive ways, that we have to preach to them and train them. It's the duty of the preacher to enlighten those who are not acting Krishna consciously. Okay, and two more here. My question is to, and however bombastic it may sound, okay, is it possible to achieve a violence-free world for our children? Absolutely. If we make Krishna consciousness, this Krishna consciousness movement should be accepted as a world religion. That's our endeavor. We want to make this the world religion for everybody. Now, this is not a religion. This is the science religion. Understand? It's like I'm a Hare Krishna Christian, for example. You see, I'm a Christian who understood the perfection of Christianity is being taught by Prabhupada. So we want everyone to accept Krishna consciousness. The Muslims will become perfect Muslims. The Hindus will become perfect Muslims. The Christians will become perfect Christians. The Jews will become perfect Jews. This Krishna consciousness is the perfection of religion. It's not another religion. It's the perfection of religion. So we have to, that's how we can have a violence-free world, by making this the world religion. How is it possible to be a better human being? The only way to be a better human being is to surrender to Krishna. Otherwise, you'll never be a better human being. Actually, there's no question of being a better human being. Are you going to be an animal or a human being? That's all. If you're surrendered to Krishna, you're a human being. Otherwise, you're an animal. That's all. I'm enthusiastic to hear Bhagavatam class, but I'm not enthusiastic for Mangal Arati and other Aratis. That means you're not practicing the philosophy. That means you'll never enter into the full meaning of the philosophy. You can't. Krishna consciousness is not just a wonderful idea. You have to apply it also. It's an applied science. If you don't apply it, you'll never fully realize. There's jnana and vigyan. You see, vigyan means you apply it. Just like in chemistry, we were told that H2O equals water, and we went to the lab and we did it. So the Mangal Arati is the lab. You're told by meditating on Krishna, you enter into a state of bliss, but you won't go do it. Just want to hear about it. You'll never become fixed in Krishna consciousness unless you learn how to relish Mangal Arati. Mangal Arati is required. Prabhupada said those who miss Mangal Arati, you have to fast until they distribute a Krishna book. You should have Mangal Arati every day in your home or in the temple. You see, Mangal Arati is a must. Prabhupada said it's required. How to increase my enthusiasm in attending the aratis? Well, it's do or die, basically. You develop a taste for arati, or you lose your taste for Krishna consciousness. I have an example. It was in Austin. One boy, He bought the Bhagavatam. He was really, remember that? He really fired up. He bought a Bhagavatam. Said, yeah. He was talking about this and that, but he wouldn't chant japa. And about halfway through, he lost his enthusiasm to read because he wouldn't apply it. If you don't apply these teachings, you're going to lose your taste and you'll go away. I guarantee it. If you want to stay, if you want to get out of the cycle of birth and death, you have to develop a taste for samsaradava nalalita loka tranaya. Oh wait, that's the morning melody. Samsaradava nalalita loka tranaya karunya gana ganadvam praptosya kalyana gunanavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinam. I mean, it's so sweet. If you get up early and sing the morning melody for Grihastha prayers, you can go into spiritual ecstasy. You can have tears coming from your eyes. Your hairs can be standing on end even if you really go deep enough into it. You have to learn how to enter into this stuff.
This material world is like a wild forest fire. Unless you attend and understand this, then you cannot take full shelter of the spiritual master who is extinguishing this fire. You want the fire to be extinguished, then you must wake up. Samsara dava nalalita loka and sing this melody morning.
Jai. How many people observe Mangalarti every day? A lot of people aren't doing it. You need to add this. If you want to become awakened and liberated from the cycle of birth and death, Mangalarti.
It's a forest fire. So who wants to get out of this fire? So then you must wake up for Mangalarti. Take full shelter with the spiritual master.
We have 5 more minutes. He has a question in the back. I'll go ahead and take it. What is it? Oh, okay. That's good. Gurudas.
Srila Gurudev, Guru Mataji said that to achieve success in any field, one should practice. My question is, what one should practice to realize that statement that I am not this body to the level that when tests in form of old age and diseases come, be able to tolerate them properly. What should be practice to establish that understanding that I am not this body?
By fully absorbing your body, mind, and words in Krishna consciousness 24 hours a day. It's a simple thing. By engaging completely in Krishna's service, that will enable you to transcend it. Obeisances is a very good beginning. Bowing down and offering obeisances. That is very, very powerful thing to help you realize you're not your material body. It's very simple. You just have to practice it, engaging mind, words, anger, tongue, belly, and genitals in the service of the Lord at all times, places, and circumstances, as much as you possibly can at every minute. And by doing that, you will actually have practical realization how you're not your material body. You can also can meditate on it. If I were to die right now, if death was to come right now, would I be in the proper mood? You see? If death was to hit me right now, what would be my mood? You see? A devotee is always ready. He's not a fatalist, but he's always ready for death. At every minute he's ready. You see? You never know, it can happen. Just like on the airplane, I was thinking, as we were coming into Mumbai, this thing could crash land and I could be killed right now. I was thinking that as we landed, you see. One should always be ready that I could leave my body right now, you see. It's like when you take a course as the final exam. Well, death is the final exam. But in this course, sometimes it's a pop quiz. So one has to be always ready for death at every minute. My godbrother was on the taxi cab coming from Mayapur to Calcutta. The taxi driver fell asleep. He crashed into a tree. My godbrother was killed instantly. You see? To be ready for death. And I may be killed today on the way to Mayapur. Who knows? So one should always be ready to die at any minute. Understanding I'm not this body, I'm an eternal spiritual being. To always be ready for death at every minute. You may say, but it's so depressing, it's so morose. No. If you're prepared for death at any minute, then you're actually in total ecstasy. Because I can handle it, sure. Why not? Death can come. Mr. Death, you want to come take me? I'm ready. You take me right now. I have no problem with it at all, because I'm an eternal spiritual being. This means Krishna is going to put me in another better situation than I am now to serve him even better. The devotee welcomes death. He's not afraid of it at all. He sees Krishna is coming in the form of death. You see, just like that example of Dhruva. He was death came. He stepped on the head of death and got into the Vaikuntha airplane. For a devotee, we just step on the head of death and go forward in our service to Krishna. Death is not a problem for us. It's a stepping stone into the next dimension. So if you have that fixity of consciousness and you're convinced and you're, in any day, be walking down the street, somebody could shoot you dead. It's walking down the sidewalk there in Riga, some crazy person. We have crazy people in America go to school and start shooting. You never know, you could be a victim of one of these crazy people in any minute. There's always be detached from this body. Okay, Krishna, as long as I know death will come only by your arrangement, but whatever you want to take me, I'm ready. You can take me right now, I'm ready to go right now. If you want me to stay here for another 100 years, I'm ready. Whatever you want to do, Krishna, with me, I'm ready, but you have that mood, then you'll be fine. Does that help a little bit? Jai.
Gurudev, since you asked Gurudev that question, but I'm going to answer it differently. In government, in the army, there is a government issue. Anything the government gives, you have to take good care of it. So this body of yours is also. But while taking care of the body, you should not forget the owner of the body. Right now you think that you are the owner and you have to tolerate those pains and pleasures. This body is destined for these things. With all our karmas we have come, and this body is going to go through this. Whether it's a great devotee or its body is spiritualizing, at the same time it will go through this. It has 6 changes and it will happen, no matter what we do. So, Krishna consciousness is a means not to get another body, to suffer this. So even while taking care of it, it's not that you don't take care in the old age or this or that, but you take care of that body, but don't forget Krishna. Don't forget Krishna. That's what it is.
Okay, we'll stop here. We thank everyone very much. Shri Baba Pada Ki Jai.
Sankarshan Adhikari Ki
Jai. I have some, I don't need all these garlands. Anybody like a garland? Okay, give it to, let me give it to, let me give it, I'm going to give it away to certain persons actually who did special service. Amalatrana and Premananda and Gurudas, come on.
Hare Krishna. So are you happy? Or are you ecstatic? So let us thank Prabhuji and Mataji for spending their time. They were on the way to Mayapur, but they were so concerned that they are coming to Calcutta, so they should give the association to Calcutta devotees. So let us thank Prabhuji and Mataji by loudly chanting 3 times.
Haribo!
Haribo! Haribo! Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Mataji.